The island of Sodor is proud to be part of the United Kingdom. Because of this, they are ruled by none other than Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. However, there is also the governor of Sodor, who's in charge of the government on the island. He travels around with his private engine, Croven, who is named after a very powerful king of Sodor who prevented a Viking invasion. The governor rides in a special coach called Helen. Helen is very kind and friendly. However, Croven is not. He is perhaps one of the most arrogant engines on the island of Sodor. One day, he came into Knapford, boasting like usual. "Good morning, engines! Aren't I such a fabulous sight?" "God, not you!" "It is me! Aren't I a sight?"
"Yes! What a disturbing one!"
"Quiet, you wooden old cow!" "Good grief!" One day, Croven shunted Helen into the yard to get cleaned up. He left her there and pulled off to get to the washdown. Just as he left, Oliver came in with Toad. They went into the siding next to Helen to rest.
"Oh, hello there!"
Oh my goodness! It's the governor of Sodor's private coach.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
"Oh, just call me Helen."
I'm Oliver, and this is my brake van, Toad.
Oliver, Toad, and Helen all had a pleasant conversation as Helen was being cleaned up. Eventually, after the workman finished with her, Croven puffed in to collect her. He was very rude to Oliver and Toad. "What are you doing here, Mr. Great Western? Go, get yourself in that filthy brake van away from the governor's private coach."
"Don't you dare speak to them like that! They're very kind! Kinder than you!"
"Ha! But they're not as important as us. Come along, Helen. The governor is waiting."
Oh, I'd like to have the governor ride to me.
Croven burst out laughing. "You! An express coach would be indignified for the governor, let alone you! You are a dirty, rotten, smelly, pathetic brake van!"
How dare you insult my brake van?
"Insult? I'm pointing out a fact. A brake van is the only rank above trucks, the lowest status on the railway. What makes you think the man in charge of the whole island would want to be transported in a filthy old tool shed on wheels? Come along, Helen." Helen was too shocked to say anything. Croven puffed out of the station, still laughing.
Don't listen to him, Toad. No engine can get more nasty than him.
Oliver puffed away, feeling very cross. Toad, on the other hand, felt very bad. He was sad for the rest of the day. That evening, Oliver and Duck tried to cheer him up.
"He's full of hot air. No one likes him. He's a disgrace. You're a very useful brake van, Toad. Don't listen to him."
But Toad was still sad.
It's not bad. It's just I feel like need a change. I wish I could just have a nice surprise one day. One that doesn't run away from my train. Life is just so boring or frightening for a brake van. Croven was somewhat right.
Well, I don't think he's right at all. I'm sure friendly surprise will show up soon.
Exactly. Now, I'm taking some important visitors in Old Slow Coach this evening for an evening stroll. Would you like to come along?
Oh, yes, please.
Toad liked rolling along the coast that night. The fresh, salty air took his mind off of what Croven had said about him. When they arrived at Arlesborough, Toad felt very satisfied. The important visitors turned out to be associates of the governor and were surveying the small railway. The small controller was to be knighted by the Queen, and there was going to be a festival to celebrate this before he left England. The governor was to attend and make a speech congratulating the small controller's efforts to railway preservation.
My, this will be quite an occasion.
Yes, it will be!
I just wish I was the one taking the governor here, or passengers at least.
The governor only rides with that nasty engine, unfortunately.
Cheer up, Toad. I'll take you to the ceremony tomorrow, and you can, at least, watch the governor give his speech.
Well, I guess that's the least I could do.
The next day, Oliver, Duck, and Toad were all waiting to head towards Arlesborough. They had to wait till the governor's train had left.
All right. When Croven comes, I suggest we all stay back. He's bound to throw some insults at us.
Duck's coaches were already in the platform, but Duck was in a siding so he wouldn't have any negative contact with Croven.
Oh dear, here comes trouble. If he says anything, just ignore him.
Croven didn't say anything. He was in a bad mood. He snorted into the station with Helen. Cameras flashed everywhere as the governor waved out of the window. "Why can't you come quietly, you wretched cooch?"
You kept blowing steam at me! I could hardly breathe!
Croven, this platform is for the passengers. We need to get into the siding over there. Croven was enraged. The siding? The siding is for dirty trucks! Croven was very cross. He snorted over to the points and yelled profanities. Everyone was shocked. Then Croven made a huge mistake. "You want to be in the siding? So be it!" Ouch! No one was hurt, but the governor of Sodor was enraged. "You stuck-up, blithering idiot! I've had it with you and your childish arrogance. I'll need another form of transport, which means I'll be late." He looked around the yard, and then his eyes were fixed on Toad. Toad was very nervous, but the governor was smiling and came up to him. "Why, it's a Toad brake van. My dad was a guard who worked in one of these. He used to always let me ride in it. Oh, it brings back so many memories from my wonderful childhood." "We can get you another coach and engine, sir." The governor thought for a minute, then said something that shocked everyone. "You know what? No, I'll take a simpler way to travel. Mr. Brightvan and your Great Western engine, would you mind giving me a lift to Arlesborough?" Toad couldn't believe what he was hearing. Neither could Croven. "Right away, sir. Up on board." "What? Sir, I must decline this ridiculous idea. I am the governor, and I have made my mind." And with that, Oliver and Toad set off. The governor had a wonderful time. He was so excited that he kept pulling the brake lever on and off, which made the journey very difficult for Oliver. Toad, on the other hand, told the governor all about his escape from the scrapyard with Oliver and Douglas. The governor was fascinated and listened with his eyes wider than a child. "Me father said rolling stock always had the greatest stories." Toad laughed as they puffed into Arlesborough. It was flooded with people. They were all shocked to see the governor of Sodor, the most important man on the island, riding in a shabby wooden brake van. Cameras flashed like mad, and when Oliver stopped, the police had to shoo everyone away from Toad. "This'll be front page on the newspaper. He'll be the luckiest brake van ever." Sir, might I ask why you aren't with your private train?" "Oh, to heck with private luxurious trains. A brake van is the way for a politician to travel." After he had walked off, the news reporters started interviewing Toad. Toad was so overwhelmed that he didn't know which questions to answer first. When he and Oliver returned to Titmouth, the governor thanked them, especially Toad. You brought back my childhood memories. I thought I would never be able to ride in a brake van like my father's ever again. We'll definitely have to do this again.
I'm sure the Fat Controller could make some arrangements.
The governor then spoke severely to Croven. If it happens again, then I know that a light blue sewage tank will be installed at the docks. In other words, quit the insults and arrogance, or you'll be stirring some nasty stuff in your boiler. After hearing a statement like that, I think Croven will. Don't you? That night, Toad felt happier than he had ever felt in his life. He talked endlessly about his experience.
What did you think of all the fame you retrieved?
Toad laughed.
I enjoyed it very much, although it was a bit overwhelming with all those people crowding around me. Although I had a wonderful time, I think I'll just stick to being a happy brake friend for now.
Didn't I tell you Friendly Surprise would show up soon?
Toad could only chuckle and went happily to sleep. He was a very happy brake van. If you were to visit the town of Wellsworth, you would probably be greeted by Trevor, who trundles along with his goods for the vicarage orchard. You would also see Gordon and Edward race by with their passenger trains, always whistling hello, as well as Boko slowly making his way with his goods train. However, you would probably also meet George. To get a friendly whistle from him is simply unheard of. George hates the railway. If not, he loathes it. He believes the railway is stealing his jobs and wouldn't want more than to flatten it and get rid of it.
Railways are no good. Turn them into roads. Pull them up. Turn them into roads.
Ugh, why can't Mr. Roly-Poly go roll off a cliff? No engine likes it, even Devious Diesel. He and George often get in intense arguments. One day, George was on his way to work at Elsbridge Harbor. He was grumbling as usual about the railway. About halfway there, he came to a crossing with the gates closed. Boko was slowly making his way with his goods train. George grew more and more impatient.
Come on, I need to get to work.
You can't cross when the gates are closed. I've had many bad experiences with that.
I could make it if I ran across.
When Boko had crossed, George snorted across the rails. He was held up at 2 more crossings before he reached the station, where Stanley was waiting to take him and Trevor to Elsbridge Harbor.
Railways hog up the road. They keep us rollers bladed at crossings and then the Donald fight. It's disgraceful.
Better to be a little late than flattened by a train.
He's right. Although a train may be going slow, they cannot stop at once.
Ah, I could just dart in front of them and they wouldn't even need to stop. I'd roll by before they could hit me.
Mark my words, he'll get himself squished if he isn't careful. A few days later, the gates at the level crossing were broken and had to be fixed. The only thing warning vehicles about approaching trains was a light that turned red whenever trains got within 500 yards of the crossing. When George came up, the light was red. He had to wait. Bulgy was in front of him.
I hate crossings. Crossings can bite my shiny metal back wheels.
Bulgy smiled.
What you need to do in situations like these is live dangerously.
What do you mean?
Like this.
And Bulgy shot forward across the tracks. He reached the other side just as Diesel flew by with his trucks.
Double-decker clodhopper!
YOLO!
George was very impressed. The light went green, and he headed on his way.
Live dangerously. I need to live dangerously. If Bulger can do it, surely I can too.
George worked at Sudbury Harbor that day, repaving roads. Jack and Terence helped too, but took no notice to George's boasting. As George was returning home, he came to the crossing again. The light was red, but there was no train in sight.
I'll show them!
George trundled across the crossing, but didn't see Edward coming around the bend.
Oh dear, driver, look out!
The driver slammed on the brakes. Fortunately, George got off the rails just in time. The passengers were very startled by the sudden jerk and were very cross.
Ha! Nothing happened. I shall do as I please from now on.
Further down the line, George came to another crossing with no gates. Instead of stopping to look both ways, he kept going.
Get out of my way, you wretched rolling pin! Ah! Those wretched road vehicles. They think they're immortal.
Later, Edward was talking with Henry about George.
He must think that the rules don't apply to him.
Isn't it obvious?
I'm just worried about the passengers. If I had hit George, not only would I have derailed, but my passengers could have been seriously injured. Or worse.
That roller and that bus act as if they were raised by a gang of hooligans on a poor American street.
They see me rolling, they hatin'.
Silence, you filthy vermin!
Hey, go easy on the trucks, man. Oh, look, there's Gordon. Apparently he had quite a bad experience with George, didn't you, Gordon?
Pah! I showed him who's the boss, and I hope I will never have to do it again. George was feeling very pleased with himself and rattled up to another crossing. Trevor was behind him.
What's this, Trevor?
That's enough of this crossing jumping. You stay here until the train has passed.
Your driver's right, man.
George was furious. He fumed as he waited and waited for Rosie to pass, which seemed like ages.
She's taking forever! This is why you don't hold me up at a crossing!
As soon as Rosie was gone, George fumed across the crossing.
Railways of no good. Turn them into road. Pull over. Turn them into road.
What a road rebel.
The next day, George was back at Sudbury, rolling away at the ballast. He was just about to move to another section when the foreman spoke to him. "We need some more ballast. There's a shipment ready at Wellsworth. Please go over there and fetch some." So George headed off. Meanwhile, Gordon was rushing down the line at a tremendous speed. His passengers were having a lovely time, and Gordon was very pleased. "Roger may be the fastest, but I am the greatest." George reached the crossing before Wellsworth. The light had turned red, but there was no engine in sight. George waited and waited, but no engine came. He noticed that his driver wasn't paying attention. No one knows what happened next, but George somehow shot forward under the crossing just as he heard Gordon's whistle. Then, George's wheel got caught in one of the rails. His driver panicked. George couldn't move. There was no use in trying to set George free, so the driver jumped out and ran for his life. What the? Oh no! Not again! There was no way Gordon could stop. The accident could not be prevented. No one was hurt, and Gordon's front was only slightly bent. Oh my God! George, on the other hand, was wrecked. One half of him lay in the bushes, and the other, his cab, was on the other side of the crossing.
Well, I'm sure he learned his lesson. He won't be darting across crossings now.
To speak, if he had been a few feet behind, he would have seriously injured or killed someone.
George's driver spoke to him. "Well, George, You know the rules are there for a reason. George said nothing. It'll be quite a while before you're fixed. Perhaps you'll start to think from now on. George did think about Bulgy. After George was taken away to be fixed, Stanley took some trucks down to the docks. He stopped at the Vicarage Orchard, where he met Trevor. Stanley told Trevor all about the incident.
Well, I'm glad he's not dead, but finally I'll get some peace at last.
I don't think he may have deserved it, but he won't be bothering us for a while. No more Mr. Road Rebel with rollers.
And with that, Stanley continued on his way. One evening, Sir Topham Hatt had news for the engines.
You're all doing good, but it is clear that you all need a little help. So, a new engine will be arriving soon.
What's the new engine's name?
The Fat Controller paused.
Unfortunately, I could not find any steam engines, and right at this moment I could not really spend a fortune on a brand new diesel. So, I'm gonna have to give another chance to a diesel that has been here in the past.
The engines looked anxious.
What's his name?
He does not have an official name, just a number.
Oh no.
His number is 199. I will give him a trial, and if he proves himself worthy, he will stay. Spam can!
The engines all glared.
I'm sorry about the inconvenience, but if he behaves like he did last time, I'll send him packing.
The next day, D-199 slunk through the island like a snake. The engines he passed eyed him with distrust. 199 ignored them and kept on going. He reached Knapford Harbor, where Henry and the Scottish twins all glared at him. The diesel said nothing.
Welcome, D-199. I have decided to give you a second chance.
Thank you, sir. I really do want to be a really useful engine.
That's good. I'll hear none of this taking over the railway nonsense.
Just then, Bear came in. He glared at 199 as well.
Oh well, if it isn't my old friend, D7101. And in a brand new livery as well.
Old reliable. You just better stay out of trouble.
And Bear fumed away.
Stupid asshole!
What's that mouthful of dirt?
199 growled and scuttled off, leaving the engines with very negative thoughts. He met Bear again at Croc Station, whom was not pleased to see him.
Good day to you.
What do you want, D199?
Look, I know I made a complete ass out of myself the last time I came, but I have changed my views on this railway completely. I actually don't mind steam engines if they are kind to me. Over the years, I've seen more and more steam engines get taken to the melting pot, and I just can't help but realize that it just isn't very nice for them.
Wow, that's quite something for a diesel who said steam engines spoil our image. I'll admit you've changed slightly, but you still need to prove yourself.
And with that, Bear headed off with his goods train.
Yes, I'll show just how useful I am. Come on, driver. We need to go find some important work to do.
D199 was eager to get working. He arrived at Tidmouth and was shaking with excitement.
Well, we do have a goods train of tankers that need to be taken to Sudbury.
Splendid! I'll take it right away. Come on, driver.
Diesel had a splendid time cruising along the line, and this time he didn't break down.
Spam cam, am I? No, those days are over. I am now, still D199. Gee, I wish I had a real name rather than a number. Like Balthazar or Constantine or Maximus or, Ted. Yes, I like Ted.
For the rest of the day, 199 worked as hard as he could, delivering all goods ahead of his schedule. At the end of the day, the engines were very surprised with these efforts.
Not bad. Quite an improvement, I must say. Right you are. Old Reliable is ready for anything. Huh. I did notice you were rushing your work. You need to be a little more patient, I think. Bah! Having no patience has no effect here. I'm just being a really useful and quick engine. If you think patience has no effect here, then you should have seen Thomas leave his coaches behind, or Peter Sam completely ditch the refreshment lady. Ta-ta! Goodbye, old Reliable. Plugged up cucumber! Hey, I heard that!
The next morning, 199 didn't have any work to do, and was getting bored. He saw Bear roll in with some more old tankers.
What are you doing?
Shunting. I'm getting this ready for my train.
Would you like me to take them? I've got nothing to do, and could use a stretch on my wheels.
Well, I guess. Alright. I could use a rest.
Oh, goody!
The diesel slunk into the siding and was coupled onto the train of tankers while Bear headed off to rest. As he was about to leave, his driver remembered something.
Blast! We forgot to fill up on fuel. Your tank's almost empty.
He went to find a fuel tank, but came back with bad news. Well, we have a problem. The depot is out of fuel, and you don't have enough to get through to the next one. I guess we'll have to get 7101 to come back.
No, we must get this done now. Just, use the fuel in one of the tankers.
All right. Wait a minute. We don't know what's in the tankers, do we? 7101 never told us. I mean, it could be tar or milk.
It's fuel. It wouldn't be carrying in a dirty black tanker otherwise.
Guess so. Let's go drain some fuel from a tanker. I'm sure they won't mind if we take a little. So the driver grabbed a bucket and drained the fuel into the tanker. This doesn't really smell like fuel. Smells a lot like, well, a burp.
It's fuel! Now just hurry up so I can get it delivered.
All right. Guess it kind of does look like fuel, so it must be fuel. And the driver hurried back and forward, dumping several buckets of fuel into 199's tank. Eventually, it was full enough to complete the journey.
All right, off we go.
Ugh, good lord, I can't move.
The diesel helplessly spluttered and coughed as James and Henry rolled in.
Yep, old Reliable fails again.
And he had. The diesel then felt very lightheaded and started having hallucinations.
Hello, D199.
Oh, mind your own. What on earth? Alright, I give up. Turn me off.
And with a cough and splutter, 199's engine busted. The Fat Controller came to see what all the commotion was.
Oh dear, what happened?
The driver quickly explained the whole ordeal. The Fat Controller's eyes widened, and then he was desperately trying not to laugh.
Well, taking liquid from a tanker when you don't even know what it is a very foolish act. That wasn't fuel in those tankers.
It was a generic tanker, so it must have been.
Generic tanker does not mean it carries fuel. Oh, sorry, but those tankers weren't carrying fuel. They were carrying beer!
James and Henry laughed so hard that they almost died. 199 went redder than James with embarrassment. The laughing continued on and on until at last everyone was under control.
It's a good thing you couldn't go anywhere. You might have been arrested for drunk driving.
Alright, that's enough. Well, 199, this is what happens when you are impatient.
Yes, sir.
But I am very impressed at how you were eager to help another engine. That is something that I was definitely not expecting. You also worked very hard over the last few days, and I'm actually very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. You know, he actually does have a point. Last time you came, you did nothing but moan for a fitter and cared nothing about your train. But this time, you are a very different engine.
Exactly! You've changed quite a bit and redeemed yourself, old reliable.
Well, I did make a complete arse out of myself last time. I thought I might have wanted to change that. D199's trial was extended, and over the next few weeks, the other engines started to appreciate him. They all knew that he was a different diesel now. It was a beautiful day on the island of Sodor. Donald and Douglas were taking a goods train down Edward's branch line. They were enjoying themselves enormously. The fresh morning air couldn't help but brighten up their spirits.
This is the life, ain't it, Dougie? Quite so, Donald.
They arrived at a station to have their freight unloaded. As they waited, D199 came in. The twins did not like the new diesel.
Good day to you too.
What do you want?
Just being friendly.
We'll do it somewhere else. We're very occupied at the moment.
Alright then.
Later, 199 found the twins again. They were most annoyed.
Wow, that's quite a load of trucks you got.
Yes, because we happen to be very strong. Stronger than you dirty mainland diesels. I remember last time you were here. You were so weak, you couldn't even move a few tankers. Ha!
And the twins rudely huffed off. 199 was very sad. Donald and Douglas were always very cold with him. The next day, the Fat Controller had important news for Donald and Douglas.
The old line that leads to the flour mill is going to be restored, and the mill will be turned into a big resort. I need you to take building supplies.
Aye, sir.
But what about the old bridge on the way?
That bridge is indeed old, and will be rebuilt as soon as the resort is complete. But for now, it should be sturdy enough.
Just before the China Clay Works, there's a junction to an old branch line that was used for transporting flour from Brendan Flour Mill to the docks. It had been closed for over 50 years and was the haven for drug users and other illegal activity. Donald and Douglas were thrilled by the line's naturalistic beauty. The bridge, on the other hand, was very unstable. It creaked and groaned as they chuffed over it.
Jesus, like we're crossing toothpicks. Scaredy cat. I'm not, and Sue, I am not.
Stop arguing, you two.
Meanwhile, D199 was ranting about the twins to Edward.
They're always like that to new diesels. They've had quite a checkered past with dieselization. If the Fat Controller had sent one of them away like he had planned to, he would have most likely been scrapped.
I've tried to be nice, but they are very vulgar and rude.
Now, they aren't horrid once you get to know them. They're always skeptical when it comes to outsiders. You should have seen them when Boko arrived. They were very nasty.
So it's not just me, it's stereotyping. Those racist black buggers.
Excuse me, Mr. Hypocrite, but you were exactly like that when you first arrived. I remember what exactly you said. Our controller says steam engines spoil our image.
Well, I was a different engine back then. The past is in the past, and I can't do a bloody thing about it.
Later, Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Donald and Douglas.
You two are doing very well with the flour mill, but you do need a little help. So I will send another engine with you.
Thank you, sir.
Tomorrow, D199 will help you with the goods.
The twins growled. The Fat Controller was very cross.
All right, you two. I know that this diesel was very troublesome in the past, but he has reformed and is very hard-working. You don't need to be friends with him, but for God's sake, stop tormenting the poor fellow with your rudeness.
The twins stayed quiet, for at least the evening. The next day, they ignored 199, and 199 ignored them. Everything was quiet and stable,
until 199 accidentally backed into Donald.
Ugh, watch it, you heaving hippopotamus!
Sorry.
You're pathetic. Go roll off a bridge.
199 was very cross. For the rest of the day, all three engines squabbled and quarreled, creating a very negative atmosphere.
Hurry up, you're slower than the first controller.
Did you hear something? It sounded like out-of-tune bagpipes.
Ugh, you
Oh boy, I'll be glad once you do secede from Britain.
Enough! Both of you! Later, Donald and Douglas were getting ready to take another train to the docks. 199 stayed behind.
Let's get out of here, Dougie, before all our liable causes any more trouble.
And with that, the twins hurried off. But they were in a bad mood and were being careless. On the bridge, they had to go slowly because of its age, but Donald and Douglas were going way too fast. They pushed over the bridge as hard as they could. Then, it happened. Slow down! The bridge is straining! But the twins were scared and tried to race across it to the other side, but before they could,
Help!
there was nothing but two rails supporting Donald's front. The bridge groaned and creaked from the weight of the train.
The bridge is going to fall.
Douglas tried to move backwards, but the wood creaked and cracked. Stop! It'll fall if you keep going.
It'll fall if we stay on it.
Douglas was right. Wood beams snapped and fell into the water. 199 came to see what was the matter.
Oh dear, that bridge is going to fall.
Help us, 199. Don't be daft. Why would he help us after how we treated him?
Because I am a changed diesel.
The bridge creaked louder and louder and started to bend. The supports snapped. 199 didn't think twice and raced onto it, pushed the twins with all his might. The bridge groaned furiously from the weight and started to give way. Donald and Douglas reached the other side just in time. But the diesel did not. The twins had never felt more terrible in their life.
We didn't actually want him to fall off the bridge. We were just joking.
Edward and the Fat Controller rushed to the scene. No one was hurt. 199's driver had got out and ran across the bridge. The Fat Controller was furious at Donald and Douglas.
First of all, you two were very careless to race across that bridge. Second, you were very horrid to 199. When we eventually get him out, you will apologize immediately and will be shunting trucks in the yard.
Yes, sir.
When the diesel was finally rescued at the diesel works, the twins came in to apologize.
We're sorry we were so horrid. You really have changed. Thank you for rescuing us.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sorry about the way I acted when I first came to the island.
Well, it was 48 years ago. I think it's time we put the past behind us.
Indeed. Shall we be friends from now on?
Aye, glad to be mates, D199.
Oh, please call me Ted from now on. I just can't stand being just a number. Please, call me Ted.
Very well then, Ted.
When the diesel returned from the works, he was no longer D199 from the other railway. He was Ted, and Ted is now a proud member of the Northwestern Railway. Ted still has a lot to learn, but is now a really useful engine.
Toby is a tram engine who works on the Farquhar branch line. He does many jobs on this line. He takes workmen to the quarry and freight to the harbor. He is very old, but he doesn't care. He knows he is very useful. However, because of his age, Toby can sometimes be forgetful.
Well, I'd better go get those workmen. They must get to the quarry.
Toby, it's Tuesday. Mavis takes the workmen today, remember?
Oh yes, of course. I forgot. I'd better head down to the harbor.
Oh, Toby, you'll forget how to stop one day and go crash into something. One day, it was a very special day indeed. but I can't tell you why because that would spoil the story. Toby was about to do his normal jobs when Sir Topham Hatt came. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why Toby's on his old line, it's because it was bought by the Fat Controller several years ago, and Toby now lives here. Anyway, back to the story.
Good morning, Toby. Since it's your special day, you can do whatever you want.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Toby, where would you like to go today?
Well, I'd like to go down to the seaside. How about Brenham Docks? Then we could make our way to the fishing village.
Then it's off to Brenham Docks. Shall we bring Henrietta?
Is that a rhetorical question? Of course we're going to bring Henrietta.
Toby trundled happily along the line with Henrietta. The other engines all whistled happily, and Toby rang his bell in response. He stopped at Wellsworth to take on more water, where he met Edward.
Hello, Toby. You do look cheerful.
Well, it is my special day.
Yes, of course. We've got a party being prepared for you at Tidmouth.
Oh, lovely! Wait, what's your party?
Just then, Bill and Ben peeped into the yard. Toby and the twins didn't see each other much, and the twins found Toby's shape to be very amusing.
Look, Bill! Someone's left their garden shed again! That's not a shed! Why would a shed be on the rails? It's a brake van!
Oi! You two blokes better bug off! This special engine is having a special day today.
Special? What's so special about him?
Edward winked at Toby.
Why, yes, Toby. You are a special engine. And they say today is your special day. But what's so special about your special...
Stop! Just stop being Sharon Miller!
Toby laughed and headed off. Later, he reached Brenham Docks. He loved it here. The sound of the ships and the seagulls plus all the hustle and bustle, something he didn't get on the quarry tramway.
Ahoy there, Toby!
Good morning, Salty.
Toby was just about to explore around when Bill and Ben came in with some empty trucks.
So, Toby, what's so special about you today? I don't see any point to all this.
I'll let you find that out yourselves.
Come on, you can tell us, please.
I'll give you a hint. It happened on this day in 1914.
And Toby left. Bill and Ben were puzzled. They weren't the smartest of engines, so figuring it out would be quite a challenge.
1914. What happened on this day in 1914? I don't know, Ben. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, I got it. What, Bill? 1914 was 100 years ago. I think it's now 2014. So 100 years ago, it was 1914. Wow, I didn't know that. Man, bro, you're such a smart engine.
No, really? Oh, I'm surrounded by idiots.
So what happened 100 years ago? I know. Dinosaurs went extinct. Toby must be a dinosaur, so he...
You complete, utter, stupid boneheads! Even Sydney would not be so stupid. Dinosaurs haven't existed for over 65 million years. You two are pathetic.
Well, how are we supposed to know about that crank crab?
I've lost all faith in this world.
Meanwhile, Toby was talking with Percy and Daisy.
That's typical for Bill and Ben. They were a right pain when I thought I found a good luck charm.
For some reason, they think I am in a relationship with Boko. I would never go out with him. He's all old and oily and loud. Toby couldn't help laughing, much to Daisy's unamusement, and the three engines kept talking about Bill and Ben's low intelligence.
Hey, look, it's Steve. Maybe he'll know. Steve, do you know what happened 100 years ago from today?
Well, I know World War I started 100 years ago, but I don't know exactly what happened this day in 1914.
That's it! Toby served in World War I.
Could be. I believe his class was built from 1903 to 1921. Now, I better be heading off.
Bill, I don't think world wars are something to celebrate. It's gotta be something else.
The twins thought long and hard. Helen, Ben, shouldn't you two be at the clay works by now?
Shh! Quiet, Derek. We're thinking.
Thinking? About what? The twins explained to Derek about Toby. Well, I've never really spoken to Toby, so I don't know anything about him. But anyways, I should be heading off to the clay works. I suggest you two do the same before you get into trouble. And Derek slunk away.
Good day, Derek.
Oh, hello, Gordon. That's one smart coat of paint.
Why, thank you. Hope it will last long. Won't be having any accidents with this attractive attire.
That's it, Bill? What? 100 years ago, Toby had an accident. Of course. That's why he's so special. He's a special needs engine. Man, bro, you're just as clever as me. Don't I know it?
And the twins scuttled away. They didn't notice that Gordon was desperately trying not to laugh. He had heard everything. Later, he arrived at Tidmouth with all the other engines and told them everything. Everyone burst out laughing.
Talk about the tale of two dim witties.
They're all a bit cheeky and, absent-minded, but they never mean any real harm. They're just clowns by nature.
Well, with that said, happy 100th birthday, Toby.
The engines all whistled and cheered as Toby turned a century old.
Oldies but goldies, we still care about you.
It was a cold, windy day on the Skarloey Railway. Fall was in full blast, and sweaters were quickly becoming a common sight. At night, a thick fog would roll in, covering the hills with poor visibility. The engines didn't like the fog at night. It created a very spooky atmosphere. One night, it was particularly bad in the hills, and Mr. Percival thought it too dangerous for trains to run. The engines were all stuck in their sheds.
I've been through fog worse than this. There's no need to close the railway.
Fog during the day is very different from fog at night. Even with a headlamp, it's dangerous to go down the line when you can't see 2 feet in front of you.
Well, we can't just sit here and do nothing.
How about a story?
Why, yes, I am very familiar with a lot of stories from Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe.
I meant a scary story. You know, like a ghost story.
Like when I saw Proteus.
No, that's not scary. We need one that has lots of blood.
That won't scare one. That'll make us sick.
Well, I don't really have any good scary stories.
Neither do I.
I've got one.
The engines all glared at Duncan.
You? Is it that stupid old incident at the old iron bridge?
No, it's something completely different. Since when have you heard a decent ghost story?
Exactly. You'd probably get scared of it yourself.
Oh, do be quiet. I would actually like to hear it, just to see how it is. Let's just listen, shall we?
Very well, then. Let's see how long we can get through it without falling asleep.
Quiet! As no one else can find a good story, I guess you can better take it away, Duncan.
Right.
Long ago, there was an engine. I don't know what his name was or what he looked like,
but there was something different about him. They say he never smiled, and always had a haunting look on his face. He worked at the slate quarries because they say his behavior was too dangerous for passengers. Who is this engine? I told you, I don't know what his name is, nor what he looked like. But what I do know is that his eyes were a glowing red. They say this engine was disturbingly unusual. He would purposely push trucks over a cliff and run over animals that strayed onto the line. The manager was very distraught by his actions and decided to put him in the shed, never to be let out again. Everyone knew there was something wrong with this engine. Some say that he was created by none other than the devil. There he sat in his shed, eyeing the others as they went about doing their work. His eyes were apparently very disturbing and haunting, striking fear at anyone who he looked at. Then, one night, it happened. He killed himself? No! No one knows exactly what caused it, but there was a fire in the shed. The fire crew were called, but it was too late. The shed and the engine were already engulfed. In the flames, they couldn't see him anymore. But what they did see were two blazing, angry eyes. The engine burnt to the ground. His boiler was melted. But whether he survived or not is debatable. Oh yes, he was destroyed, but only his physical state. There are some who say this engine's spirit endured. And this spirit was not friendly like Casper. Oh no. Years passed and things were normal. Until one night, two workmen claimed to have seen two strange luminescent almond-shaped objects in the distance. It was assumed that they were just fireflies, but the driver of that engine decided to investigate. He did, and when he came back, he was petrified with fear. He claimed the two objects were huge, fiery eyes, just like those on the engine. No one believed him, so he took some people with him to have another look. And that, my friends, is the end of the story. They were never seen again. Over the years, there have been several similar cases where people have seen two flaming eyes by a railway, but not all of them lived to tell the tale. Rumor has it that a little engine was crossing an old iron bridge when he suddenly saw the eyes in the mist below, and then was suddenly swept off the bridge and plunged into the swamps below. When the workmen searched in the water, they could not find him. He was never found again. So just remember, wherever you are, someone is always watching you. The other engines were as still as ice. They gazed at Duncan, silent and shivering.
That was actually quite a scary ghost story.
Indeed, quite unexpected.
Wait, you got that engine who fell off the bridge from me?
So it's a fake story.
It's a ghost story. It could be true or false. You decide. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to sleep. And he did, and very easily. The other engines didn't. They were curious and scared from the story, especially Bertram, who rarely changed his smile. The next day, the fog wasn't as bad, and the trains ran like normal. The engines all worked hard, but they all kept thinking about Duncan's story.
What's that? Who's there?
was only a light tower.
There's no evil eyes. They don't exist.
Later, Duncan and Sir Handel were in the shed at Reneus Station when Mr. Percival came with bad news. The railroad bridge at Crosney Ruin collapsed and is blocking the line. There is quite a lot of damage, so it will take until tomorrow morning to clear it. In other words, I'm afraid I'll have to spend the night here. Are you f***ing kidding me? Damn it! Oh well, at least we have a shed. I don't agree with the language, but yes, you do have a shed. Consider yourself lucky. Others are stuck at Lakeside or the quarry, and the facilities there are not as luxurious. Arrgh. Well, I guess we're stuck. And they were. That evening, the fog came back. Duncan was trying to sleep, but Sir Handel was nervous. The eyes aren't real, are they? That's for you to decide, my dear boy. But shut up! I'm trying to doze off! There's no eyes. It's only a story. Or is it? Yes, the devil engine is a-comin'. His eyes will... What was that? Why, I've never heard that whistle before. Whistle? What whistle? Didn't you hear it? I didn't hear any whistle. Duncan? Duncan? Where are you going? Duncan puffed out into the foggy abyss to see what was going on. What happened next, no one knows to this day. No! Duncan! What happened? Where are you going? Run for your life! It's the eyes! The eyes! What eyes? You look like you've had a stroke, Duncan. The eyes of the engine from my ghost story.
Then how could it be true?
I didn't see them, but I ran just in case. Duncan was too disturbed to respond. He didn't speak until he reached the safety of his shed. I don't know what happened.
I do. You had a hallucination, Duncan. You were scared the whole time that your mind played tricks on you.
Duke's exactly right. When we're frightened or paranoid, we see things in our mind that aren't really there.
So, there are no eyes?
Of course not, Duncan. It was all in your mind.
No, it wasn't in my head. I saw them.
Scared of your own story, Duncan. That is funny.
Duncan almost said something, but grunted off and hurried to do his work.
And we all know what happens when Duncan gets spooked.
I kinda knew it was fake. An angel with an unknown name, suffering a terrible fate. He got all that from when I told him about that engine on the old iron bridge.
About that old iron bridge engine, Rusty, you do know that did actually happen, don't you?
Why, yes. You and Reneus told me.
Well, we didn't know the engine's name. In fact, we hardly ever saw it.
Really?
Yes, Sir Handel.
What point are you trying to make?
The point is, that engine was a huge mystery. In fact, we don't know what happened after he fell off the bridge. I mean, he can't have simply disappeared from existence. There must be a reason why he was never found again.
The engines never did find out if the incident of the eyes was real or not. The old iron bridge, on the other hand, well, that's another story.
Bloody hell.
That's the reason why I don't laugh at all.
But at least I get spooked of Duncan.
Don't be afraid for that. It's me, Alfred of B12. Fuck.